listening to the Good Stuff Podcast with your host, CK Helms.
Hey everybody, welcome back to this Good Stuff Podcast. I almost said the CK Podcast, but it's the Good Stuff Podcast, and you're listening to episode 14. And I started monitoring myself on this episode the first time, and it's really strange in my ears. I sound like a robot, but that's neither here nor there. You're listening to the 14th episode. As I said, it is the last episode for March CU. We're finishing things up today, me and my producer, Zak Bandit. He'll be on a little bit later after I, do my normal stuff and talk for a long period of time. And then Zach will come on here, and then we'll finish up that phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so getting into the very last films that have already came out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so, yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. If you haven't listened to the other March CU episodes, you can go back on our Podbean or any other of our platforms that we're on, like iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcast, and Stitcher. And you can listen to all the previous episodes of the March CU. And then all the other episodes, of course. And hey, did you know that we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/TheGoodStuffPodcast? And we also have an Instagram, Good Stuff Podcast on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Go like the Facebook page. Leave us a review if you don't mind. Let us know what you like best about the show, what you don't like best about the show. And it better not be me. It better just be like other people. I'm just kidding. You can like whatever you want and let me know what segments you like the most. You can listen to past episodes to hear more different segments that I've done throughout the episodes, and it's been a fun time. It's been a fun time, and March CU is coming to an end though, and sad days. I know, sad days. And then April will be here, and spring is here, and you can hear birds chirping in the background, and I'm excited. April's going to be a big month, of course, because Endgame comes out, which, of course, we're going to talk about later. But yeah, speaking of Endgame, though, have you seen those Endgame posters that they just released this week? Exciting stuff there. It's there's 32 posters, and 16 of them are people still alive, and then 16 of posters of people that are no longer alive or turned to dust or ash or whatever you want to call it. And some things that we learned from that those posters, though, is that Shuri, the sister of Black Panther, we weren't for sure if she was alive or not. Now we know that she's gone, and so that was kind of upsetting that she had a off-screen death, I guess. And then we found out that Valkyrie is alive. And so we'll see her in Endgame. So that's pretty exciting stuff, though. I like Valkyrie. She was one of the better parts about Ragnarok, which wasn't a bad movie. We talked about it last week. But I really enjoyed Valkyrie, and I'm glad to see more of her. Tessa Thompson, she's amazing. So, yeah. Those in-game posters, you can check them out now, and the internet's, I'm sure if you haven't seen those posters, you've seen the internet. They've created, tons of people have different posters where they've taken the Avenge the Fallen, or whatever it is, says on there. I think that's what it says, Avenge the Fallen, and on the posters, and they've just made tons of different posters with Avenge the Fallen on there. Like, I'm pretty sure that I just saw a Harambe poster that said Avenge the Fallen right before I started recording this podcast. So that was pretty funny stuff. But yeah, you know how the internet do. You know how they do. But Marvel News is gonna Marvel's news. Okay, Marvel News is going to continue here with Runaways season 3. Just got confirmed by Hulu, and they really had to confirm it because James Marsters, who plays Victor Stein, kind of let it accidentally slip at one of those cons or whatever at a panel, and then was like a few minutes later he was like really upset because you know how Marvel is about secrecy and stuff like that. So he's like, oh crap, I'm gonna be in trouble. But yeah, then afterwards, Hulu confirmed it, and there's going to be some changes. Like they're moving from 13 episodes down to 10 episodes, which sounds great to me because 10 episodes are more streamlined. You get less filler there, and they don't really need 13 episodes in my mind. Another thing that's changed is the adults, and Victor Stein being one of them, will only be in 7 episodes this season, as they are going to focus more on the Runaways, the group, the children, of what they should do, what the show's about. And so the adults are only going to be in 7 of the episodes, 7 of the 10, so you're going to get 3 more. Had to do math there. 3 episodes without them, so 10 episodes for Runaways Season 3. And if you haven't seen Runaways Season 1 and Season 2, go check it out on Hulu now, because it's an amazing show. I enjoyed it real much. Taking a great story from Brian K. Vaughan, and I think they did a great live action version of it. I haven't read all the Runaways stuff, but I know Zach's read a lot more than I have, and he's really impressed. I'm pretty certain that my friend Sean is. He watches it too, so I mean, I think he's read all the Runaways stuff. So, but yeah, good show, guys, good show. But let's move on to something else Marvel, though. Let's talk about Marvel comic books. C2E2 was this past weekend in Chicago, and Marvel Comics announced a few things, a few events. Like Jonathan Hickman, a great writer, he is going to be coming back to Marvel, and they've been teasing this, him coming back, and they've now confirmed that he'll be working on some X-Men titles, House of X and Powers of X. And that's coming out in July, and so I don't really know a whole lot about that stuff. Not really on any X-Men titles right now, comic-wise. But that's pretty exciting that they're getting Hickman back. Hickman, not Pikmin. Hickman. I didn't say Pikmin, but anyway. But yeah, so another thing, though, that I'm excited about, probably more than the Hickman stuff, is Marvel's Absolute Carnage event coming in August. It's a 4-issue mini-series from writer Donny Cates and artist Ron Stegman and colorist Frank Martin. And it shows Cletus Cassidy as Carnage hunting down every single human who has ever worn a symbiote. You gotta say it like that Venom movie. Symbiote. And now I'm just going to spend 10 minutes trying to say the word symbiote. Okay, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes. I'm going to move past this, I promise you. But yeah, so I'm excited about Absolute Carnage, and you can get your first taste of that event on Free Comic Book Day, which I believe is May 5th. And anyway, they'll be releasing a prologue to the story on Free Comic Book Day, and who doesn't like free comics? Everybody loves free comics, so go get you some free comics then, and we'll talk more about Free Comic Book Day as it comes along throughout the month of April. I'm sure we'll mention it more than once. I'm pretty positive. I'll ask the boss if we're going to mention it. Yep, the boss says we're good. We'll mention it again. Me being the boss, obviously, whatever. I stare at a mirror sometimes and ask myself questions. Don't judge me. Judge yourselves. You're listening to the Good Stuff podcast, so yeah. But we're friends. It's cool. I think that's all the Marvel news that I have, to be honest with you. That's pretty cool. But did you know, in 2021, Datalic Entertainment, they're making a video game. It's a narrative adventure based on Tolkien's famous tricksty dual personality character. That's right, people. We're getting a Lord of the Rings Gollum game. Yeah, Gollum, Smeagol, whatever you want to call him. He's getting his own narrative adventure there in 2021, and that's a long way away. But at the same time, it's already almost April in 2019, so next thing you know, it's gonna be 2021, and we're gonna be playing a game as Gollum. So that's interesting. I wonder if that's gonna be on future consoles, not the PS4 and Xbox One consoles that are out right now. Probably the next console generation, if I had to guess, because 2021 definitely the new Xbox and PS5 should be out by then. So I'm sure that's why they haven't give any more information besides that, because it's probably a next gen title. But we'll see. But speaking of video games, Mortal Kombat 11, I've never talked about it on the show before. It's coming out April 23rd, and we've talked about several of the characters. I mean, I've heard about several of the characters. I've never talked about it on the show. But yeah, so they just at the new PlayStation's now doing the State of Play episodes. They're like Nintendo Directs, but they're like little mini episodes. The first one was on the 25th, and got to see some Mortal Kombat 11 action, some trailers and stuff like that. New school versus old school trailers, so you get to have old version of Johnny Cage and then the new version of Johnny Cage. But in that trailer, we confirmed that Liu Kang and Kung Lao will both those two Shaolin monks that nobody plays with as. Um, this is all sarcasm, by the way, in case you didn't know most of it. But they will be playable characters in Mortal Kombat 11. And also Jax, everybody's favorite African American cybernetic arm person who could hurt you with his cyber arms. I don't know. He's coming to the game too. So he's going to join his daughter, Jackie Briggs. And so he looks like Kimbo Slice with cyborg arms. I swear, go look. I shared it on the Facebook page, so go check it out. But yeah, other people that have been announced: Noob Saibot, which is one of my favorite characters, a shadow ninja guy. He was the original Sub-Zero who died and came back as Noob Saibot, which is the first names of the Mortal Kombat creators, Ed Boon and Tobias something. I can't remember his name. I just know Ed Boon. If you put their names backwards, it's Noob Saibot. So, or is it Boon's middle name Tobias? I don't know. Anyways, something like that. Is Noob Saibot's going to be in Mortal Kombat 11, and that's all you need to know. And you should go check out that trailer. You pull it up on the YouTubes there. You can see the trailer for Noob and see his fatality, which I'm now coining as "You Got a Friend in Me." So write that down. You got a friend in me. Go check out that fatality, and you'll understand why I call it "You Got a Friend in Me." But yeah, I'm excited about Noob Saibot. And then they also said that Shang Tsung will be DLC for the game. They're already announcing DLC, and they haven't even announced all the characters for the main game. But they had to announce him because of the crypt mode or whatever it's called that they're going to have, where you unlock stuff and whatever, all that good junk. I don't know any much about that. I should probably have looked that up more, but I don't think they released enough information for me to know. But yeah, Shang Tsung, everybody's favorite sorcerer, will be part of the DLC. And so he won't be the only one. I'm sure there's going to be like 12, because it's normally how many Mortal Kombat characters. Maybe we'll get some horror icons like the previous games, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface. I think, has Jason been on a game? Not my Jason, not Jason Todd, but Jason, hockey mask guy. I'm pretty sure he has. I know Leatherface, Alien, Freddy Krueger. I feel like Jason has, but maybe he hasn't. I don't know. But yeah, so Mortal Kombat 11, April 23rd, and the beta is now live. So if you pre-ordered the game, or you can pre-order it now, you can get a code to have beta access and play the game this weekend. So something to look into, maybe. But speaking of video games, a new Borderlands game was teased yesterday on Wednesday, and it's supposed to be released. More information is supposed to be released today, but I'm recording the podcast in the morning here on Thursday, so I don't have any information of the potential Borderlands 3. So if you stay tuned to the Facebook page, I've probably posted it by the time you listen to this episode. But new Borderlands game coming out. People are excited about it. It's good stuff indeed. I don't play Borderlands. I've never have. I think I maybe played like a little bit once, like 30 minutes. But yeah, I know it's a huge game franchise. People are excited about it from Gearbox, and so maybe I should look into it. Maybe so. It'd be a good game for us to play on the PS4, which you can add me on PS4, by the way, CK the Red Hood, and then add Zak Bandit, Z-Bandit on PS4 if you play the PS4. Just saying. As you know, I sometimes also mention wrestling news here. And we've been keeping up with all the people that go into the Hall of Fame this year. The Hart Foundation, which includes Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, they will both be going to the Hall of Fame. And so I think Bret now, this will be a two-time Hall of Famer for him. So Booker T and Bret Hart both becoming two-time Hall of Famers, joining a nice little club with Ric Flair as two-time Hall of Famers. And so that's pretty awesome stuff. And Jim just died last year, passed away, and so I'm sure they'll probably get his daughter Natalia to induct him. So it should be an emotional moment. I'm probably not ready for that. Make sure you bring your tissues though for that. Speaking of wrestling though, the triple threat match between Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey, their triple threat match will now be the main event at WrestleMania. First time ever women going to main event a WrestleMania, which this had been rumored for quite some time, so it's not really surprising. But yeah, exciting stuff. I mean, I really like Ronda Rousey. I like Becky Lynch. Don't really like Charlotte Flair that much, but I thought it was just going to be, this match was just going to be for Ronda's Raw Women's Championship, but now Charlotte on SmackDown just won the SmackDown Women's Championship. So I guess next week we're going to have to find out what's going to happen with that, because now there's two titles in the match. So are they going to unify the Women's Championship and there'll just be one Women's Champion? Obviously, it's going to be Becky Lynch, the man. Duh. That's who I think is going to win the match, but I don't know. Are they going to give her both titles and she'll just appear on both shows, or who knows what they're going to do? Maybe Charlotte's belt won't even be defended in the match. I don't know. Maybe it'll just be for the Raw Women's Championship. I have no idea. We'll find out more next week on Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, don't know. Exciting stuff, though. Exciting stuff. Speaking of exciting stuff, there's a new John Wick 3 trailer out for those John Wick fans. And then also the trailer for the Dora the Explorer movie, live action Dora the Explorer movie, just came out. And when I first heard about this movie, I thought it was stupid. But, I mean, it's Dora, okay? It's not like I was super excited about it. But then the trailer came out, and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of good. So I don't really know if I should be excited about it now, because I feel kind of excited about it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it looked pretty awesome. So I think I'm gonna have to watch Dora the Explorer. I don't know. I never thought I'd say that. Please don't quote me on this. Don't tell anybody that I'm gonna watch Dora the Explorer. It's just between me and you. It's in your ears, out of my mouth. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody, okay? Because telling secrets don't make friends. I'm pretty certain it's secrets don't make friends. Let's just go with what I said, okay? Anyways, speaking of movies, we're moving on to the movie releases, and not just movie releases, but other releases. But March 29th, that is tomorrow, Friday, if you're listening to this podcast today, the Dumbo live action Dumbo movie is coming out. So get ready to take your kids to see Dumbo if that's what you're into, those live action movies. Some are good, some are bad. We'll see what it happens. I haven't heard the best news about this Dumbo movie, but I mean, it's got Danny DeVito in it, so that's pretty cool. Dumbo was like one of those cartoons that have you reaching for the tissues, so be prepared when you go see Dumbo, the live action movie. But if you like to watch your movies at home, on Tuesday, April 2nd, you can watch Vice and The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot. That is the whole movie name. And both of those will be out on your home release DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, on April 2nd. Now let's move into video games. There is a list here, so buckle in. MLB The Show 19 just came out for PS4 on the 26th. And The Walking Dead Final Season, Episode 4, the finale, the very last game from the old, now Telltale series. Rest in peace, Telltale. It just came out on the 26th as well. You can get that on PS4, PC, Xbox One, or Nintendo Switch. Pretty much anything that's a console or PC, you can get The Walking Dead Final Season Episode 4 and the other 4 episodes. Walking Dead was a great game. I haven't played any of this final season one, but the other ones were good. But yes, on the 29th, Tuesday, Tropico 6 for PC comes out, and so does Yoshi's Crafted World for Nintendo Switch, both coming out on the 29th. And then on the 31st, which is coming up, the 31st. I can't even speak. The 31st, which is that Sunday? Apparently, a game's coming out on Sunday. American Ninja Warrior for all the consoles, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, based on that American Ninja Warrior show. A video game coming out on Sunday. So that's interesting. But yeah, one more video game release for the week. On Tuesday, April 2nd, you can get Darksiders War Master Edition. It's finally being released for the Nintendo Switch, so if you haven't played Darksiders, which was a great game, you can play the remastered or War Mastered Edition on the Nintendo Switch April 2nd. If you get a Nintendo Switch, check it out for reals, because it's a good game. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the very last section of our show before we get Zach in here. It's called CB with CK, or CBWCK, Comic Books with CK, whatever you want to call it. It's Comic Books Talk here with me, CK. Every week on CB with CK, I give you a top comic book choice that I read last week that you may be able to find at your local comic book shop still, or you can find it digitally, and give you a one of my favorites that I read last week, and then I give you one that just came out this week, yesterday, on New Comic Book Day on Wednesdays. Every comic book day is on Wednesday, and I give you a one that I'm most looking forward to for this week, which they don't always end up being my top comic books the next week, but sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. But last week, Spider-Man Life Story #1 came out, or Spider-Man Life Story #1, The 60s, came out from writer Chip Zdarsky and penciler Mark Bagley. This is a limited series. It's kind of celebrating Marvel's 80th anniversary. So basically, Spider-Man started like 57 years ago in comic books, and so that's how much time has passed since the first was Amazing Fantasy #15, I believe. Yeah, I think that was it. Anyways, that was the first time that Spider-Man appeared in comic books, and it's been 57 years or so since that happened. And what if this the question issued here in this comic book series? What if Spider-Man got older and grew with the times? So basically, this series is going through all these times in Peter Parker's life, and he's getting older as the time moves on. So basically, eventually, I guess they'll have one in 2019, and Spider-Man's like 60 or 70 or whatever. So that'll be interesting. I'm not for sure how long they'll go on this series, but I was really excited about it. And it was a great book. The art was great. It was really old school feel, and it's basically you get to see Peter and Flash is going to go to war, so this is Vietnam War. So Peter's like talking. Basically, it's a struggle of should he go to Vietnam to use his powers and to fight in this war to help America. And so he ends up having a run-in with Captain America sometime during the issue, and Captain America, basically tells him that he's doing a good job and stuff, and Captain America's like struggling whether he wants to go. Iron Man's over there too, I believe, and I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end, but it was crazy. I wasn't expecting that moment, but it's a pretty good story. Usually I go more in details on these comic books, but since the March CU episodes have run a little long, and we're trying to stay at a 90-minute or a little less Time frame, I'm not going into all the comics, but you definitely should get on this Spider-Man life story book right now because it's great. It's great. It was amazing. But every week I also pick a runner up from last week, and one of my other comic books that I really enjoyed was Naomi #3 from writer Brian Michael Bendis and David F. Walker. Jamal Campbell is the artist there. This mystery, this in Wonder Comics, this new series from Bendis is just it's amazing. These I've been hooked since the first issue, and it's only 3 issues in, and I always think it's going somewhere, and then it goes totally somewhere different. I'm hooked. This mystery is just great. I want to know more. I want to know more about this Naomi, who she is, where she's from, and what's going on and stuff. And every time I think I'm getting something, then they change things on me and take it away. And every issue, I always at the end I'm screaming, "What the hell are you doing to me, Bendis?" I just said that the other day on Instagram, and that's really just how I feel after reading this book. And I patiently wait until the next issue, and I can't stop thinking about it. I want to know more. So obviously, it's a good book if the story gets me that good. I'm a story guy. Art's cool, and I mean, there's some great art out there, and there's very few issues of books I've read that the art was just to turn off for me, and I couldn't read the issue because I'm more of a story guy. But Naomi is a great story. But this week, however, I think that you all should pick up. That's my number one choice. Would be Detective Comics number 1000. This landmark issue is 96 pages. I think it's got like 11 stories in it, and this has so many different writers and artists and stuff working on this, working on these stories. You got stories from Warren Ellis, Paul Dini, Tom King, Brian Michael Bendis, James Tynion IV, Scott Snyder, Jeff Johns, even Kevin Smith. I mean, all these and more. That's not even all of them. And then there's just so many artists and stuff that are work on this. I didn't even write everyone down because I don't even have room on the piece of paper to write them all down. But it's a landmark issue. You have to get it now. I mean, it's $10, but I mean, it's definitely worth it. You're getting some great stories, and then the very last story, which I guess it goes in with the storyline of what they're going to be working on after this. With the current storyline, you get to see the DC universe's first appearance of the Arkham Knight. You know, from Batman Arkham Knight, the video game. They did some prequel comics for that game, but it was just set in the game universe. But this is the actual DC universe's introduction to the Arkham Knight, and who you get to find out the story of why he wants Batman dead and what connections he has to Bruce and stuff. So I haven't read it yet, so I'm not for sure if we'll find out who he is in this issue. So I think that's just going to be the ongoing mystery for the next several issues, not episodes, several issues, probably the next 6 or so. And so I'm excited. I'm a huge fan of the Arkham Knight character. I'm sure probably won't be the same person it was in the video game, but I probably not. I'm just interested to see who it is, and so can't go wrong with Detective Comics number 1000. Go pick that up, and then if you follow us on Instagram, I'm going to give some more choices today of comic books that you should pick up this week. But that's all that I have for you today. That was your news, your releases, and your CB with CK. You got your comic book fill, you got your news fill, you know what you should watch and play this week. And so without further ado, we're going to move into this final March CU. And so let me get my producer, Zak Bandit, here with me.
All right, here we are. I am here with Zak Bandit. What's up, Zachy?
What's going on?
You want me to not call you Zak Bandit or Zachy?
What? I don't care.
I don't even know what I just said. I can't even speak today.
Do you want to start over?
Nope. We're going with it. So, how's your week been?
Alright.
I took you a minute to say alright. I was like, is he alive? Jeez. I know last time you were on... And here you were said you were feeling sick, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now.
That's good. Did you get some chicken noodle soup?
No, I did not.
Well, that's your fault. If it took you a while to get better.
Does chicken noodle soup actually help?
Chicken noodle soup is like, yeah, it's like an all cure. They recommend it when you go to the doctor. They're like, oh, get some.
What do doctors know?
Some things they don't. I'm starting to feel like doctors only know what you tell them. Like, I feel like if you Google some stuff and then you tell them what you think is wrong with you, they're like, oh yeah, I think that's wrong with you too, because that's what happened when last time I went to the neurologist. I said what I thought was wrong with me, and it's like, oh, I was thinking that last time too, but it wasn't in your notes, dude. Oh, I just forgot to put it in the notes is what it was, but that's totally what I'm thinking. WebMD is a better doctor than real doctors. Sometimes. But anyway, let's move on to here we are at the March CU, the last episode. The last March CU. I'm excited.
Yes.
So we're finishing up Phase 3, Part 2. It's Part 2 of Phase 3, because Phase 3 was such massive that we split it into 2, and plus we had to make this last 4 episodes, so we had to do something. But
yes.
Yeah, so we last week we ended on Ragnarok, right?
Yes.
So now it's February the 16th, 2018, just almost a little over a year ago now, and that was when Black Panther came out. Yeah, Black Panther. Not that it was a good movie or anything. I mean, it might have won some awards recently, but. What's
the Academy Awards?
Yeah, it was nominated for Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
It did not win. Movie. What's that movie?
I mean, yeah. What did win? I don't even remember.
Wasn't it like Green Book or something?
Oh yeah, I think it might have been Green Book.
But yeah, but Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture, and it was nominated for like 7 things, I think, or something. I think it won a couple, like costume, maybe, sound. Something like that?
Yeah, I think it won makeup and costume or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so it came out. Black Panther, was first introduced in Civil War, which we've mentioned that before, and T'Challa. It was a good story. I mean, I enjoyed it. What about? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. It seems some of it was kind of mixed, but I didn't think it was a bad film. No. And it's kind of like, it's almost like an origin, but not really an origin, in a sense, film, I guess. Because he's doing his training to become the Black Panther. Right. After his father died. Which, he was already Black Panther, but it was like, earning the title, the mantle, I guess, basically, in a sense. To actually become king. Yeah. King T'Challa. But I'm glad that it did win some awards for makeup and costume and stuff, because it was so good. So, the makeup and costume-wise was excellent. So, it deserved it. Probably deserved a few more awards, but whatever. I'm not the Academy. It was the Human Torch crosses over. Yeah, the second Human Torch to come to the MCU. Every Human Torch, if you play the Human Torch, eventually you're going to get a role in the MCU. Not anymore now, because Marvel owns Fantastic Four now. So the next Human Torch will just always be the Human Torch, I guess. That won't ever get a new role. But you're talking about Michael B. Jordan. Yes, he played Killmonger. He played. Is that the villain of the story? I guess, in a sense. Right. But he thinks he's the hero. Right. He thinks he's the hero, but he's the villain of the story. It plays Killmonger, who he's related to. Is he related to Black Panther in a way?
right?
Yeah, it's his cousin.
Cousin, that's right, yeah. And so we get to see the history of his character and how he came to be. Dear God, turn your phone off. Man.
It's fine. What?
Why's your phone vibrating?
I don't know, man.
I tell you, man. Rookie mistake there. Don't even have it on silence.
Because I'm blowing up on Twitter. I just keep getting fucking followers.
Going to the big time. You gotta start promoting the Good Stuff podcast and our new BBP comics that we just talked about. We didn't talk about it on this episode, to be honest with you. I was about to say I talked about it, but I did not talk about it.
Well, you're fired and canceled.
But I'm the division leader.
Well, I'm destroying the division.
Oh, you're gonna snap it out of existence?
Yes, just like Thanos.
Yeah. But yeah, so Black Panther. Silent, bro. Silent.
Hold on, let me change it.
But so Black Panther, it was fantastic. Killmonger, probably one of the most better villains that the MCU has produced. And it's sad that we're probably not going to see Killmonger any longer. Spoilers, obviously. Spoilers anytime you listen to these episodes.
There were rumors that he was going to return in Black Panther 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen rumors that he was coming back.
Has Black Panther 2 been officially confirmed, or?
Yeah, I think it was officially confirmed, but they just haven't given any information about it.
Yeah, the only thing that they have, as far as release-wise, that confirmed for Phase 4 is the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's rumors that when they do Black Panther 2, that's when the Submariner is gonna...
When Namor?
Yeah, when he's gonna come.
I thought Namor's rights were owned by someone else.
Only, it's the same deal with Hulk.
Oh, okay. So, like, he can't get a solo film.
Namor's owned by Universal, but they can use him in movies, just not solo movies.
Okay, that makes sense now. It's weird. Universal just owns like Hulk and Namor. So,
yeah,
two very different people. But yeah, so as I said, Killmonger, probably one of my most favorite villains from the MCU, and hopefully you're right, that rumor comes to fruition and we get Killmonger more, because Michael B. Jordan is so good too.
Yeah, he's definitely I like him in pretty much just about everything he does, but
except for that Fantastic Four movie that doesn't actually.
I did not watch it, so I just knew it was going to be bad. So
you haven't seen it?
No.
Well, I saw it, and it was not pleasant.
He's amazing in like the Creed series and stuff. So.
Right. But yeah, he's been in a lot of good stuff, and then he's been in that Fantastic Four movie, which is really not his fault, I guess, of it being bad, but still, he was good in it? Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he gave his best.
I can't believe you haven't seen it. You should definitely subject yourself to it. I did.
Maybe.
I got
Maybe
through
I will.
the whole thing. It's got Miles Teller in it. It's Mr. Fantastic. It's very interesting. It's interesting. That's a good word for it. But yeah, Black Panther. We get to see Vibranium a lot, and obviously in it, Andy Serkis came back as Claw, right?
Yeah, but I can't believe they killed him off.
Killing everybody off. And he had his hand, which had been cut off by Ultron, his arm, right?
Yeah.
In the Age of Ultron, and then so we get to see his claw hand. Ulysses S. Claw. Is it S. Claw? I don't know.
Ulysses S. Claw.
Yeah. It kind of looks like reminds me of he's really the on Inspector Gadget, the bad guy. He's really the bad guy from Inspector Gadget too.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll ever make a return because, I mean, Claw's like supposed to be like one of Black Panther's biggest enemies.
Well, I mean, think of all the other different villains that have died throughout the MCU that are big name villains for people, and then we didn't get them fully. But you know, I really Black Panther, like, it was a good story. I can't really remember much about it though. Now that I'm thinking more about it, but I know it was good, and Killmonger was good.
Well, what happened is Killmonger beats T'Challa for the throne, and then he became king for a little bit, and then...
Oh, that's right. Yep. And then T'Challa ended up coming back, and then they both had Black Panther costumes type thing. Killmonger's was different a little bit. And then they fought, and T'Challa won. And then didn't he get help from the tribe that doesn't stay a part of them?
Yeah, I can't remember the tribe name, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I got help from them.
Yeah, that's how he took out Killmonger and all those people. So, which was good because then that character of the head of the other tribe came back in Infinity War. So.
And his crew, yeah.
Yeah. So you got to see them more. Wakanda. Wakanda. The look of Wakanda is just amazing. So they're more technological, advanced than us, and it was really great. And so at the end of the movie, as I said, the look of it was just amazing. Which is, so if they won awards for that, then by means they deserved it. And then at the end, you get to see him basically once he decides that he wants to open up Wakanda's as a country to the rest of the world. So.
Yeah. Even though in Infinity War they're still hiding in the mountain, but
yeah, it's kind of like the Iron Man situation when he quits being Iron Man, and then in the next movie he's Iron Man again. But it's almost
I figured they would have just opened it so you could see it from the outside, but I guess not.
Yeah, maybe that'll be more touched upon in the sequel. I don't know. I'm not for sure. But then you get that post-credit scene with Bucky as White Wolf.
Yeah, which is, yeah. Of course, Bucky is not White Wolf in the comics. But
no, but apparently that's what they're calling him in the...
I think White Wolf in the comics is actually related to T'Challa also.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Which maybe, I don't know, was Killmonger in the comics?
I can't really remember. I'd have to really research
that.
Because
if I remember correctly, I think White Wolf might have been either adopted or his cousin or something. But
yeah, I'm really not for certain.
So maybe Killmonger's based off the comic book White Wolf.
Yeah, I really haven't read too much Black Panther in comic books. I mean, he's in the current Avengers run. I'm reading. That's about all that I really know. I've never read anything Black Panther. I know that one time wasn't he married to Storm from the X-Men?
Yeah, he married Storm. He also filled in for Daredevil once.
Oh. See, you know more about this comic book history than me.
I know some of it, yeah. He filled in for Daredevil when he had to leave or something.
I see.
And he became the Hell's Kitchen vigilante.
Okay, cool. But let's move past Black Panther because I can't remember too much from it. And then April 27th, 2018, Avengers Infinity War came out. What we had been building, what we've been building to all this time in the MCU finally came to. And we finally got Thanos and all the Infinity Stones and everything. And it was just, God, Infinity War is such an amazing movie.
It was amazing.
It had so much packed into it also. It's just hard to, like, if I wrote down everything what happened in that movie, I'm pretty sure I'd have like 2 pages worth of stuff for us to talk about.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, the ending.
Yeah. Just, But anyway, let's start off. I know some notable things we could talk about. Starts off, Thanos shows up at where Thor is, and the Asgardians.
Yeah, because Ragnarok's end credit scene. That's how it ended. Was the ship showed up?
Right. And so he goes on there, and they basically takes down Thor, and then Loki has he's coming to get the Tesseract, right? Isn't Loki?
Yeah.
The Tesseract. And so like Loki is gonna give it to him, but then he was faking it out and stuff, and that's whenever then Thanos fights the Hulk. It beats the shit out of the Hulk. so much so that that's all we see this Hulk.
If you think about it, it's kind of Loki's fault that he got his hands on the Tesseract because Loki. Because in Thor Ragnarok, he's on Ragnarok and he sees the Tesseract and he grabs it. But if he just left it on if he left it on Asgard, Ragnarok would have destroyed it, and then there would be no Tesseract.
Yeah, so, didn't think about it like that.
I blame Loki.
It's all Loki's fault. But so it was a good callback to the first Avengers movie. When when Iron Man said that we have a Hulk, and Loki uses that line against Thanos about we have a Hulk.
Yeah, and then it looks like Hulk's beating him up pretty good, and
then Thanos just goes to town.
Nope.
Which scared Hulk, and Hulk never came back after that.
Yeah, but Thanos also, I believe, had the Power Stone, so it probably made him a lot stronger.
True. And so then we see Heimdall dies there, and then
Heimdall gets stuck with the spear.
Yeah, and then Thanos kills after beating the Hulk, and he kills Loki.
Yeah, for trying to stab him.
Yeah. So, started the movie off obviously people are gonna die. I was wasn't ready for it. I was like, dang, this movie just started. People are already dying in this movie.
Yeah, first 5 minutes and it's already friggin' everybody's dying already.
Yeah, that was craziness. I was like, man, I guess we know how the rest of this movie is gonna start. And then the whole movie's basically you're there on the edge of your seat the entire time.
And then Heimdall sends Hulk to Earth.
Right.
With the Bifrost.
And Thor gets knocked out into the cosmos there by Thanos, and that's how he ends up meeting the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think of what all we should mention from Infinity War, because there's just so much.
There's so much stuff that happened.
Because then Thanos goes getting all the other Infinity Stones, the ones that he doesn't have already. So he
sends his children to the Black Order to get what Infinity Stones are on Earth.
Yeah.
Because they know the Time Stone's there, and they know the Mind Stone's there.
Yeah, so you get to see Iron Man and Doctor Strange teaming up, and then Spider-Man's there, and then Hulk comes there, but not Hulk, but Mark Ruffalo, I guess, because he tells him about Thanos coming. And let's see, then Thor's with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they go to get. Thor just doesn't have a hammer, so he has to go get one made. That's where Stormbreaker gets made from that.
And that's when Rocket breaks off from the Guardians.
Right. Then the other Guardians, they go to where the Collector is. Yeah, to nowhere where the Collector is, and they end up fighting Thanos and thinking they killed Thanos, but he was using the Reality Stone. He had already been there, and so he made it nowhere was actually everybody was already dead and stuff there. So, and then that's when he takes Gamora, right?
Yeah, he takes Gamora to his ship and to Nebula,
that's who he tortured. He tortured Nebula to get information about Gamora.
To get information about the Soul Stone or where the Soul Stone is located.
Right, because Gamora knows where the Soul Stone is for some reason. So,
because I think Gamora said she had found like a map to it, but she burned it.
Right. So,
but Nebula had it recorded on her.
Cybernetic
She's like
stuff.
Mostly machine now.
Yeah. So that leads us to, we're just breezing past it through Infinity War as fast as we can because there's so much to talk about it. But so that's how we get to go where the Soul Stone is, and it's on that Valagar or Valmir, yeah. And so when you get there, you see that the Soul Stone is being guarded by the Red Skull. Didn't see that one coming.
That was a crazy reveal.
Yeah, that was like the one thing like I was really the most surprised about. I was like, Red Skull? I was like, yeah, so exciting. Played by a different actor, but still, it was awesome. Seeing Red Skull again, and so he has to get the Soul Stone. He has to sacrifice the thing he loves most, and Gamora's like, you don't love anything, so therefore you can't get the Soul Stone. And then like Thanos is crying, and he kills Gamora to get the Soul Stone. Sacrifices his daughter because apparently he really did love Gamora. So the
only thing he loved.
The big lug has a heart. So I mean,
he might have 3. He's an alien. Huh?
Thanos is.
Maybe he has 5.
But in Thanos' mind, he's really a hero. You know, he doesn't see himself as a bad guy because he's trying to bring balance to the universe.
The only thing that I didn't understand, because he goes to planets and kills half of everyone, but when Thor goes to the star and meets the dwarf,
Eitri or whatever his name is.
Yeah, and Thanos. It seems Thanos usually makes good on his promises, and Thanos promised him that he would keep it, or he would spare everybody, but he killed everybody except him.
Yeah, he only left the one dude alive.
That's like the only thing in Infinity War that kind of bugged me, because it seemed like Thanos, I mean, he doesn't really like he usually keeps his promises. Like he spared Tony Stark, and he just spares everyone. Like if he says he's going to, usually.
Yeah. But I don't know. So he ends up getting that, and then that's pretty much that's a lot of the stones except for the Time Stone, I guess, and that's he ends up getting that because Doctor Strange and who else is there? Iron Man and Peter Parker and Mantis and
most of the Guardians.
Except for Gamora, Rocket, and Groot. Yeah. Because Rocket and Groot are with Thor. So the rest of the Guardians, they go to, was it Titan? Is that Titan that they're on?
Yes, Titan.
Yeah, and that's when they try to stop Thanos, and Doctor Strange says he uses the Time Stone to view how many, it was millions of different scenarios.
It was 14,605,000 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, scenarios, and only one of them they won. So, and he basically apologizes to Tony, and so he ends up giving the stone to Thanos because he said it's the only way to stop.
To defeat him.
Yeah, to defeat him. So he knows that they're all gonna disappear and stuff. So, that was crazy. But then, so let's switch over to Earth. So much happened. And so the last stone is the Mind Stone, right?
Yes, that's the last stone he needs.
Which is in Vision. So they're now all your people on Earth, like Captain America and Winter Soldier and Falcon and Black Panther and stuff. They're all in Wakanda. Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Mark Ruffalo. Bruce Banner. We're just gonna say Mark Ruffalo. They're all in Wakanda at this point. A lot of more stuff happened, but now we're in Wakanda, okay? And so they're trying to separate Vision from the Mind Stone by taking all his memories and life force and stuff, and sure, he's trying to transfer it to something else. So, but of course, then all the Black Order and all those bad guys come. Huge battle. And Thor comes, Stormbreaker, Rocket.
Everybody in the theater cheers.
Yeah, that was awesome stuff there. But then Thanos comes and he ends up getting the Mind Stone from Vision, basically, and so he has all of the stones, and then Thor comes down with the Stormbreaker and hits Thanos right in the chest, right?
Yes.
Thanos.
Unfortunately, Thor had to be a gloater. He had to gloat before he killed him.
Yeah, and Thanos was like, "You should have aimed for the." Thanos said, "You should have aimed for the head, right?"
Yeah.
And then he snaps his fingers, the decimation, and we just see people start turning to ash.
And then this chick right next to me in the theater is bawling her eyes out.
There were so many people crying in the theater, and it was mainly, I feel like it was the most was whenever, because you get to see all sorts of people disappear. I mean, because you're only left with so many people. Winter Soldier, Falcon, Black Panther, not Scarlet. Yeah, Scarlet Witch, Vision. Let's see.
Well, Vision wasn't decimated.
Yeah, that's right.
He just got killed.
Because he just got the thing taken out. Let's see. You get to see Groot disappear, and like that was a sad moment between him and Rocket. Apparently, he said "Dad" when he said "I am Groot." So that's scary, creepy. But then you get to see on Titan, you get to see Doctor Strange. Pretty much everybody disappear except for Tony. But the thing I think that what most people were crying about was Peter dying, Spider-Man dying.
Yeah, that was just probably because it was the most prolonged one, and then
because he has spider sense, so he knows that something's going wrong, and those words, "I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark," and so that was haunting. And I mean, that's the one line that I remember the most is, "I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark." And so then he dies just right there in Tony's arms. So, and that, I swear, you could hear everybody in that theater crying. I just heard like noses running like crazy.
Yeah, me too. Especially the chick right next to me.
There was kids sitting next to me and Lacey. Like children. Somebody brought their kids. And so it was, of course they were crying too. And it was crazy. And then the movie, then Thanos like was off somewhere, and he's like, looking out on the horizon because he did what he wanted to do, and then that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the craziest ending of anything I had ever seen in my life.
I felt like I knew like the snap was coming, but like you just didn't expect it. Like it still like hits you.
It's crazy. I was not prepared for it. I just was not ready for it, and it definitely, it was just such a crazy thing to have happen at the end of a movie, knowing that the next movie's not coming out for a whole year, and to leave you just waiting for that long. So,
yeah, right.
Just craziness. I just never seen anything like it before. Just the way that everybody just walked out of that theater was nuts. It's not a feeling that I don't think will ever be replicated in movie history ever again.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, moving on though. So much Infinity War. We're already on almost 30 minutes here. Ant-Man and the Wasp, July 6, 2018. Let's see. That was a pretty good movie. I mean, Ant-Man was pretty good. It was nice seeing the Wasp actually becoming the Wasp. So
yeah, I mean, I think it was just as good as the first one too, if not maybe even a little bit better.
You get to see Ghost in there. You get to see the guy who used to be Goliath, right?
Oh yeah, you get to see Goliath because
you get to have. He had that talk with Scott about how when Scott became big when he in the Civil War. That was pretty funny.
Comparing sizes.
Yeah, good play on words there. So there not much really happened far as story wise to end the to evolve. I guess to go in with the MCU of the story so far.
I think a lot of it is kind of like introducing the quantum realm more because
yeah. Besides that,
it's probably going to get used a lot in
Endgame. Yeah, because they went to the quantum realm to find Janet, which is Hank Pym's wife, the Wasp's mom, and so they ended up getting her from the quantum realm. And there's a lot more to the quantum realm we don't even know yet. And like you said, there's we're gonna probably see that come into play in the Endgame. So, but they introduced it for a reason. They had this movie fall in between the Infinity War and Endgame for a reason. So, and I'm pretty certain that we'll see it more come Endgame. And then of course the end credit scene happened.
Yeah, and then all his people disappeared.
While he was they were having him go to a quantum realm, and Janet and Hank and Hope were on the machine on the other side to bring him back, and then apparently that's when the snap happened. So he's stuck in the quantum realm. So see how that comes to play in Endgame, because we've seen in the trailers and stuff for Endgame that Scott's currently missing. So and then he comes back in the Endgame. So definitely quantum realm's going to play a part to that. So.
Yeah, that's what because if you watch the Endgame trailer, people are saying they think those suits are for the quantum realm that they're wearing.
Oh, the white ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure, probably. But then we're gonna move on. We're just trying to get through really quick here. Captain Marvel, March 8, 2019, just came out last month. I just watched it. So Captain Marvel. What'd you think about Captain Marvel, man?
I thought it was great, and especially what'd you think of the Marvel logo?
It was the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, the Stan Lee tribute.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was good. Wasn't well, I was expecting it because you told me about it last week. So I mean, I was prepared for it. But if I hadn't been prepared, it probably would have been a lot more sad, I think.
Yeah, I almost cried. I was like, damn. But it was a good tribute to Stan Lee, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And so Captain Marvel was great. You know, it's set in the 90s. And because she's gonna be in Infinity War, so not Infinity War, Endgame. So they had to introduce her. You get to see Coulson and Nick Fury back in then, and those were good moments. Man, Coulson so good. It was but it was crazy. Captain Marvel was crazy because it changed some things that's normal comic history and made it something completely different, because the Skrulls are in this movie, right? And so definitely spoilers if you haven't seen Captain Marvel. You probably shouldn't listen to the rest of this, but or at least for the next few minutes. And what was crazy though that I thought I didn't see it coming is that the Skrulls are really not bad in the MCU. It's the Kree. The Kree are bad, and so that was different for me at least. Like that wasn't something I was expecting. Of course, at the beginning of the movie, you think they're all bad and everything like this, and that's what you're led to believe. But then you find out in the second half of the movie that the Kree are the bad people, and they basically been lying about stuff. And so what were your thoughts on that, the change up?
Yeah, that surprised me. I didn't see it coming. But someone also mentioned in the article, like, you know, I mean, there's bad people in like every race, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, are they were wondering if, like, maybe there will be bad Skrulls in the future.
Yeah. I mean, they could do that.
Well, it would be interesting to see Secret Invasion on screen, which would be cool, but...
Which I thought they might have done, but now that the Skrulls they've portrayed them as good...
yeah, that's what I had thought was going to happen. Like, I thought this was going to be the start of the Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
like,
because I knew the Skrulls were going to be in Captain Marvel. I knew they were going to be in Captain Marvel, and so whenever I knew it, I was like, oh shit, they're going to do Secret Invasion after this, you know? So, but then it didn't happen, and completely turned on its head, so wasn't prepared for it. It was crazy though, but it was a great story. Like, I was like watching the whole time. I was like, man, all those white guys that said they weren't going to watch this movie because of Brie Larson are so fucking stupid, because this movie's great. It's fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite Marvel solo films. Even for like the first one in a solo, like, I mean, some of the movies, like, you know, Captain America: Winter Soldier is my favorite movie, my favorite MCU movie, but it's the second one. It's the second Captain America movie. So for a solo movie just to come out and just introduce a character no other characters in it, because I'm not going to include Coulson and Nick Fury, but no other heroes are in it, and just have no connection to anything else, and to be this good is just amazing to me. So
yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't know what else to say, but it was just good. But
if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, you got to go see it. It was great. It was fantastic, and you get to see why Fury has only one eye, which I won't tell you why, but it's not what I thought was going to happen. So. And they did a lot of fake outs in that movie too, like 2 or 3 of them. Like, people just kept on asking like him, "How's your eye?" And he's like, "It's fine." So there's a couple of fake outs, but how it actually happens was pretty hilarious. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, "Really?" But then, so then we get a post credit scene, mid credit scene, whatever. You get to see it's who is it? Black Widow and Captain America, Mark Ruffalo, and was it someone else?
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. I told you, that's all I'm gonna call him. Who else was there? There's someone else there, right?
Did you say Captain America?
I did. Wasn't there 4 people?
Captain America, Black Widow, Mark Ruffalo.
Was it Rhodey?
I think Rhodey.
I think it was Rhodey. I'd have to. I just watched it and I can't remember it. But yeah, so we get to see end credit scene with them, and they're all standing there and they're trying to figure out this page. They have that pager that Nick Fury had, and then it goes off. And so then they come and tell Cap that it went off, and they're like, "Well, I thought we had it on battery power." And they're like, "It is. It's still hooked." It was Rhodey. It's still hooked up, and they're like, "It just went off." And then Black Widow's like, "Well, get it back up, and then I need to figure out who's. I want to know who's on the other end of the pager." And so then she turns around, and there's Captain Marvel just standing there, like, "Where's Fury?" So,
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Can't wait. Endgame, April 26th, 2019. Moved up a whole week. And I'm ready for it, man. The trailers, this is the end of Phase 3, or as they call it now, the Infinity Saga. And
yes.
So I'm excited
April 26th can't come soon enough for me.
What do you think's gonna happen more? Like, I mean, I guess it's gonna. You think the quantum realm's gonna do with it? Do you think there's gonna be time travel?
It's hard to see what's going to happen, but yeah, I definitely think they're going to use the quantum realm. I think maybe time travel might be involved.
Yeah.
Then I don't know if Captain Marvel's going to finish him off or what, but like, I just don't know. Really, I don't know what's going to happen. But,
yeah, I'm excited though. They've had some trailers, and the trailers are kind of there's fake footage in these trailers because some trailers have different footage than the other ones do, and like they have characters that are in it and not in it, so it's really and they've already said that some of the trailers have fake footage in it, so I'm really interested to see what happens.
I'm pretty sure that the scene in the trailer with Tony and Nebula is probably fake.
Yeah. I just want to know if do you think Tony's going to come back to Earth or not?
I think he might. I feel like maybe he'll be saved by someone, maybe Captain Marvel or something. But
yeah. What about who do you think is going to make it? Who do you think is going to die?
And I think Captain America is probably going to die.
For sure, Captain America. Probably Iron Man. Maybe not. But definitely, if you're going to bet your bottom dollar on one death, it probably will be Captain America. Definitely.
Yeah.
So.
And then, like, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to reverse to Snap.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe Captain America has to sacrifice himself to the Soul Stone or something. But
who knows exactly what will happen. You know, I try not to think of too much. There's so many theories online and stuff, and just who knows what will happen. I don't think we'll be expecting any of it. I think it will all be like craziness. Like, I didn't see that coming. You know, we'll talk about. You'll have to come back after Endgame comes out. The first of May. The 1st of May one, we'll have to do an episode. We got May 2nd will be the day that we have to do Endgame.
Yeah, I'm seeing that day one because I'm not gonna get no spoilers. So.
Right, for sure. Don't want any. Yeah. But yeah. So that's all of the MCU. And then in the future, we're going to be getting Phase 4, you got Spider-Man Far From Home coming out July 5th, 2019. That's the start of Phase 4. That's going to be exciting. Other movies will be announced. I wonder if there'll be a end-credit scene in Endgame for
They already announced, they announced Black Widow, so...
Right. That is Black Widow, so...
takes place, I think, shortly after Captain Marvel, like not too long.
Yeah. They got Disney Plus shows coming out, Vision and Scarlet Witch show, a Loki show, and then a Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So the MCU's growing. They're moving into shows now, more shows. It's crazy, growing so fast. It's going to be strange to do one day. Next year we'll have to do March CU again. just one episode of March.
CU every freaking year.
And we'll just update. It'll just be one episode. Every March.
Yeah.
Just update on the MCU. But yeah, this has been fantastic. It's been great. It's been fun going through the movies. Spent a long time on Infinity War today. Phase 3's come to an end. Endgame, if you haven't got your tickets now, you should get them now because it's going to be the conclusion, 22 movies. The end of Phase 3 or the Infinity Saga, whatever you want to call it. I'm excited. You're excited. It's going to be great. I don't even know words to describe what Marvel has done for this Marvel Cinematic Universe. It took 4 episodes of us to talk about it, and we barely even scratched the surface on the entire thing, you know? So, I mean, we could literally do an episode based off each franchise if we wanted to. But I want to thank you so much for listening to us. Go leave us a review on like iTunes or our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Good Stuff Podcast. Make sure you like us. Follow us on Instagram, Good Stuff Podcast. And go listen to this episode on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. And yeah, but that's all that I got. Zach, you got anything left you want to say to them?
See ya.
Oh, no. Also go to www.blindbanditproductions.com. And we just announced our own BBP comics, and so you should go learn more about that, and you can like it on Facebook as well, and learn more about one of the first comics that we'll be having out. So exciting stuff. We'll talk more about it in the future. But until next time, everybody, hashtag good stuff today.